A boy dreams. His childish imagination conjures both common fears and novel grotesquerie. The boy is Jed Walker, an oniromancer, one who conjures psychic dreams, an orphan. Jed lives with his grandfather, Ezra, a humble lighthouse keeper. Like so many nights past, Ezra awakens to his grandson's cries. Jed awakens, alerting Ezra that a man now drowns amid the stormy sea. In vain, Ezra attempts to convince his grandson of the nonsense of dreams. But the boy is resolute. Ezra cautions that if the boy refuses to calm down, then his asthma will surely act up. Instead, Jed pursues his dream into the maelstrom. As lighting ignites the inky sky, Jed leads Ezra through a wall of rain to a shipwrecked sailor clinging to the rocky shore. Once ashore, the sailor appears to grip a grotesquerie, a web-link. With his dying breath, the sailor warns of others in whose hands the web-link should never fall. Good evening. I am Funky Flashman, curator of the Kirby Museum. Dreams are puzzles. Why? Perhaps the clutter in our mind is collated and filed away while we sleep. Perhaps when that clutter is missorted or misfiled, the jumbling of that clutter produces a dream. Sometimes a pleasant thought falls atop the clutter, sometimes a disturbing one. Dreams remind us, pleasure us, beguile us, and horrify us. For ages, philosophers have questioned if we are indeed the dreamer, or someone in someone else's dream. What if someone else is in ours? For there are those who dream of somewhere between heaven and earth, where dreams are monitored, a domain of legendary figure, eternal and immortal, who shares with man and beast all the secrets of his ages. He is the SANDMAN. This is Jed Walker today. He is an in-demand oneirologist. Recently, he has revealed the existence of a dream realm, wherein dwells the mythological SANDMAN. According to his account, Walker encountered the SANDMAN at 8 years old. It was in the stormy fall of 1974 when Jed and Ezra rescued the shipwrecked sailor. That night, Jed became fond of the grotesquerie. Ezra scoffs at the sight of his grandson playing with dolls. But is Ezra's disapproval societal or intuitive? That night, as Jed sleeps alongside the web-link, Ezra collapses into paranoia. He feels that the doll resents him, mocks him. Meanwhile, Jed dreams of the web-link murderously pursuing Ezra. The zombie-like grotesquerie treads the treacherous dreamscape as Ezra struggles to maintain a swift and sure footing. Ezra awakens to Jed's calls for help. Jed is comforted by the compassion only a grandparent can provide. Ezra blames the web-link, smashing it to reveal inexplicable machine parts. Afterward, Ezra bags up the pieces and buries the web-link in the rain-soaked soil. The family dog soon begins digging up the buried horror. Fittingly, that horror scares the animal away. Curiously, Jed mentioned falling in his earlier nightmare. While we all have had that dream, author David Graves thought to explore such dreams further in his biography of Jed Walker. Graves claims that it was in that same dream the boy encountered the SANDMAN. According to Walker, the Sandman resides in a dream dome wherein he monitors our streams of consciousness. There, the Sandman resides along two imprisoned nightmares, Brute and Glob. When Jed's dream warped into a nightmare, Sandman pushed the awake switch, while the nightmare prisoners pleaded for the Sandman to let Jed fall. Sandman reminded the duo of what will happen if he hits bottom. How many of us experience hitting bottom during our dreams of falling? We always awake with seconds to spare, don't we? Sandman jumped into a tube that launched him into Jed's nightmare. He rescued Jed with seconds to spare, as he rescues all of us every night. But what of the web link? Is it indeed the cause of Jed's nightmares? For that, we venture deeper into Jed Walker's account. According to Walker, his dreams delivered him knowledge of a real-world conspiracy. Elsewhere, fringe scientists were synthesizing replacement brains. These scientists were doctors Masuji and Kaufman. In a Tokyo veterans hospital, the doctors finished their somewhat ethical surgery. Masuji reveries on the 30 years of observing the miracles of the human brain. Kaufman is curious. By how were these miracles observed? Masuji reveals the source of the strides made on the fringes on neurology. Masuji claims that the mysterious patient General Electric is that source. He had been a kamikaze pilot who miraculously survived his crash. His brain had been entirely damaged. Masuji grants Kaufman face-to-face access to General Electric. Masuji explains that the General's brain was rebuilt. With each passing year, the General was upgraded with the latest technology. Masuji comments on how the General enjoys building robotic dolls. Kaufman asks if he could examine the latest doll. The General snaps at him to not touch. The General then strikes Kaufman, sending him flying several feet. Masuji quickly summons the guards. Crashing through the window, the General escapes with his doll. It is then the Sandman receives notification of a 4-alarm nightmare. Children all over the world are experiencing the same nightmare. The trusty prisoner Brute pleads to be released so that he may help. All Sandman must do is blow on his hypnosonic whistle. Sandman informs the earnest nightmare that the whistle is for emergencies. It is then Glob directs Sandman's attention to the monitor. Every kid is having the exact dream as Jed Walker. Sandman jumps into the dream ejector and is launched into the waking world. Sandman arrives at Cape Kennedy to witness earthquake damage. Strangely, the quake has leveled only the secret defense installations. Sandman works to clear those fallen from the smoke and heat. Security questions the hero. Sandman sidesteps any questions about himself and alerts security to a fallen man's condition. Sandman hurriedly sprinkles the sleeping sand on the man's face. This act alarms the security chief, who attempts to arrest Sandman. However, the hero douses the personnel with sleeping sand as well. Sandman bounces off in search of the nightmare's cause. He scours the same area simulated in Jed's dream. It is then he discovers Jed has dug up the web link. Suddenly, a group of old Nazis attempt to rob Jed of the doll. They figured Jed should be taken as well. No witnesses, no easily discovered body. Sandman intervenes, easily dispatching the lumbering evildoers. However, a jeep runs him down. Miraculously, Sandman survives, although he is rendered unconscious. The Nazis haul Sandman, Jed, and the Weblink to General Electric's secret laboratory. The mad scientist is pleased that Jed, the boy aware of the Weblink, is present. The better to do away with him. The General notices Sandman's American accent and allows him enough life to witness revenge on America. For 30 years, the Axis have had to live with each their wounds and deformities. Sandman calls the General mad. The General pummels his captive to the floor. General Electric reveals the hidden purpose of his deadly dolls. They were to be smuggled to a hidden transmitter. Once connected, they will ignite charges hidden throughout Washington, D.C. Meanwhile, Sandman desperately fumbles for his whistle. Noticing, Hans takes the whistle. A henchman wants to know what sound it makes. Hans blows on it. The silent sound releases Brute and Glob, who grab curious bags and ride the sound waves to Sandman. The dreadful duo arrives to find the Nazis slumbering from the whistle. They unleash the vile vermin from their bags. The Nazis awaken to creepy-crawly nightmares. Perplexed, General Electric wonders why his partners are frightened of things unseen. Sensing intruders, he holds Jed hostage. While Brute unties Sandman, Glob asks if he should blow on the recovered whistle. Sandman shouts that Glob should do so with the highest pitch. The pitch rattles the General's brain case, causing it to shatter as the doll shop explodes. Jed is protected by Sandman and the nightmares. Sandman informs Jed that the boy's nightmare is over. Brute and Glob are around the corner, having jumped further from the explosion. Sandman bids Jed farewell, believing tonight's dream will fade like any other. With a blow of the whistle, the heroes ride the whistling back to the Dream Dome. Is Jed Walker an Oni romancer? Is he delusional? Or is he merely a rather talented huckster? Rather than answer now, I think it's better that we sleep on it.